Insane, crazy, absolute bonkers.
Mind-blowing.
Mind blowing. You can think of as many adjectives as you want, but it's been a crazy game of cricket. So many records, the highest ever score, not just in IPL, in the history of T20 franchise cricket at 277 is what Sunrisers Hyderabad got. Everyone sitting here smug in the middle of the innings break thought no chance for Mumbai. But dare I say, this game for 3/4 of the game, that is till the 15th over or at least the 14th over of the second innings, it was even Stevens, dead heat till the 14th over of the second innings, despite you are getting the highest ever score in franchise history. From there on, many other records, Head having a record breaking start on his SRH debut, Abhishek getting his 50, which is the quickest for SRH in IPL history, 500 runs for the very first time in IPL in a game, most sixes ever hit in an IPL game. I'm running out of breath, so many records.
The highest aggregate of runs ever in an IPL.
But that's because if you've gone past 500, then it has to be the highest ever aggregate.
In a T20 match, if I may have to add, in all T20s. So it is like, I mean, you just were so close, first time ever, 250 by both teams. So close you are. I mean, you look at past in the CPL, it's happened twice, it's happened once in the BBL also. But man, I mean, that Hyderabad road today produced an absolute run feast. If any batter is down on form, this was the pitch where you had to play.
Except if you're Hardik Pandya.
Except if you're Hardik.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Let's get to Hardik Pandya's knock. Let's quickly take the look at the strike rate of all batters that came out to bat. Now, this is, as I said, an innings where it's even Stevens. We need to see Mumbai innings, Shivam. Thank you very much. So it's an even Stevens inning. Everyone that comes out for Mumbai. The one good thing, as we mentioned earlier, in a match like this is you don't have to get confused as a batter. You don't have to be in double mind. You don't ever have to have any sort of confusion. You know when you're chasing 278 to win, there's only one way you bat. Sometimes many batters will say that's a great thing. So what happens? Rohit Sharma comes out all guns blazing, 26 of 12 deliveries at a strike rate of 216. Ishan Kishan, 34 of 13, strike rate 261. Namandir, the youngster, batting at number 3, once again, 200 strike rate last game, 200 strike rate this game at 214. Tilak Verma at almost 190 strike rate, and by the way, getting 64. So if you get a massive amount of runs like 64, 190 strike rate is about a 200 plus strike rate if you're getting less runs. And even a Tim David, who struggled against the lack of pace of Jaydev Unadkat, despite that, 42 of 22 at a strike rate of 190, almost 200. In all of this, you have a Hardik Pandya getting 24 at a strike rate of 20. I don't want to single him out. I have often said here, we've discussed that, people targeting him for captaincy, so on and so forth. Some places unfortunate, all of that. But this is a stat in the game that was played that even if you're the biggest Hardik Pandya fan, you cannot ignore. So thoughts?
It's a 3D nightmare for Hardik Pandya.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into the fielding. We'll get to that later.
Not even fielding. I'm talking about his captaincy. Let's leave aside his fielding.
No, that's what I'm saying. His captaincy while fielding, I don't even want to get into. That will take another 1 hour to discuss.
Exactly.
I just want to know, what do you make of the batting today? Was he unfortunate? Was it great bowling? Was it whatever? I don't know.
One over from Bhubaneswar where Bhuvi was nailing the Yorker. Okay, that I'll take nothing away from. But other than that, I did feel like Pandya was trying too hard to hit it on a deck where you didn't really need to make much effort. We saw how pretty much everyone was batting, whether you hit it through the line, across the line, runs were there on offer. You didn't need to put in a lot of effort. And that's evident by MI's innings that they had more sixes than they did fours. So it wasn't the most difficult track to bat on. Over there, if you're striking it at 120, it's just showing that you were trying too hard at that moment, not quite getting the momentum needed, and then one too many a big shot you go for, one of them has to go off plan when you're under that much pressure.
Today, actually, we were also discussing it upstairs. Hardik should not have promoted himself out. The situation was there. You needed a Tim David higher. You didn't need a Hardik Pandya there. Because Tilak was going well. If suppose Tilak had fallen, you need the next best guy there. Why did Hardik promote himself?
No, I have a larger point to that. I think Hardik should promote himself, but not even there.
So,
I am saying you are the captain. You are the captain. You are a future Indian T20 captain. You are that guy who prides himself in finishing games. You are the guy who told the team management of the Indian team, you can't leave all the hard work for us to do batting lower down the order. You want to take responsibility. You're the guy who won the IPL as a captain batting at number 3 and 4. I am saying so far as to go. Today, I would have liked Hardik Pandya to even promote himself ahead of a Namandeep. He should come there at number 3. He says fine. Wasn't he the Hardik Pandya who went smiling when the innings got over? We discussed that. Yeah. They have conceded 277. He's smiling and he's going off the ground, and we said, okay, fair enough. This can only go two ways. Either he look foolish, or everyone will go gaga over his positive approach, because he'll go in the dressing room and much like you had Jacques Callis saying that Joburg game, there are a few runs short. He'll go and say the same thing, inspire his team. But if he's going to be inspiring his team, for that he needed to come at number 3, take the bull by its horn and bat it at 200 strike rate. I'm saying if he had batted for that long, who knows, that thing could have continued. Let the young kids come and do the hard work later on. For all you know, you back yourself like he bats himself. Then I'll finish it with 2 down, with 3 wickets down, with 4 wickets down. We'll finish it.
See, Hardik at number 5 again. I'm with you when you say that yes, it would have made sense for him to have batted higher. At 5, it was wrong. Maybe at 3, 4 would have been the right thing for Hardik. But given the situation where the match was poised, 13th over mark, Mumbai in the match as much as any team, any opposition team would have wanted to be in that particular match and that bigger chase. But if he wasn't to come, let's say in place of a Naman, then I'm sorry, Hardik Pandya, I think the batting order was again going to be wrong all over again. He had to be batting either number 3, because at that point where he walks into bat, it was the scenario was such that you needed the firepower of a Tim David, and I have no qualms in saying that a Tim David gives me much more assurance in terms of big hitting than a Hardik Pandya.
No, but
yes, he's finished things off for India in the past and for GT also, but with the task that was at hand, you needed somebody like Tim David to be doing the hitting.
By that logic, if truth be told, then you should have saved Hardik Pandya even for later. Then let Romano Shepherd also go and bat ahead of him, as he did. My point is that, okay, fine, he batted at whichever order. Maybe you're right that he should have batted. I think batted at 3. Okay, maybe that ship had sailed. So you're saying in that scenario, let Tim David go ahead of Hardik Pandya. But then by that logic, let Romario Shepherd also bat. My point is, if he's batting, that's why I'm trying to think, what was the logic that he was batting at the pace that he was? I know that he is a big fan of MS Dhoni. I know that he wants to do everything like MS Dhoni does. But I'm sorry, this was no approach, especially when he's not the last recognized batter. He still has more batters to come. There's a Romario Shepherd waiting also. You're in the last 2-3 overs. So it's not even that you're batting 10 overs. You need to safeguard your wickets. You go all out, boss. Others will take over. Eventually you went all out and then got out. No, that should have been done earlier.
This was not a case where you could take it deep.
You're only in 1 gear, 7th gear you had to bat. Whoa.
This was no case of taking it deep. You look at the way everyone was batting, and their approach was simple. Hit every ball. I need to hit every ball, and if I can't hit every ball, then I need to be scoring runs of every ball. With Hardik, he got bogged down. He got bogged down badly.
And he was over-trying as a result.
Oh yeah, of course he will. Of course you'll overcompensate.
The other thing I felt with his knock was, yes, it would have given him confidence after he smacked Mayank Markande for that 6. You thought, okay, this is again a wrong move perhaps, by
Sunrisers.
by the Sunrisers Hyderabad to deploy a spinner against him, because Hardik Pandya enjoys facing spinners. He's got no problem clearing the boundary, be it a leg spinner, be it an off spinner, whatever be the case. I thought somewhere he struggled once the pacers came on, especially it coincided with that 14th over. 14, 15, 16 were the crucial overs for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. That over from Bhuvneshwar Kumar, where he does get a boundary, I believe, but then Bhuvi gives away just 7 runs in that over. Scores of 4, but then after that follows it up with 2 balls straight in the block hole, and that's where the pressure starts to develop on Hardik Pandya. That's where he starts to, then in the next over when Jaydev Unadkat, there was an over in between that of Pat Cummins, which was also a very good over. The subsequent over is
14, 15, 16 overs.
Yeah.
Those 3.
Yes.
Those 3 seal their fate. I agree. That is where Hardik was batting. That is where Tim David was batting, and he was struggling. But I mean, I'm not taking the credit away from those 3 fast bowlers. That is Cummins, Bhuvi, and Jaydev Unadkat, which also tells you there is no substitute for experience. Which also takes you back to a Mumbai Indians who selecting their team. Yes, going with a young team or whatever, but you would need experience. And I'm happy that even someone as a Cummins who goes for a lot of runs today, at least they kept their cool, because that's the situation of bowlers tend to, panic. Bhuvneshwar has done it in the past, but Cummins today, it's the slower ball that gets the Tilak Verma wicket, the most important wicket. Jaydev Unadkat sometimes has gotten hammered, has come in for a lot of bad press, bang on with his slower delivery. So taking no credit away from those 3. In fact, those 3 bowlers are the difference. I think Mumbai would have chased this down. This would have been an insane game. We would have all been sitting here saying we have witnessed the most insane match in the history. Dare I say, a white ball cricket. I would have included international matches, everything that you could. I would have put everything. It could have, but for those 3 bowlers that bowled well. Yet Mumbai had the option of going for it, and they did not go for that option. That was the unfortunate bit, at least of whatever we saw of the Sunrisers bowling attack. Kudos to those 3. And by the way, the other thing, kudos to Pat Cummins, the captain as well. And I think that's the difference between Hardik Pandya's captaincy, we'll get to that a little later, and Pat Cummins' captaincy that we just witnessed.
See, with Pat, we know, okay, this is a guy who's got international level pedigree. Has he ever been a guaranteed T20I player? No. But what he lacks necessarily when it comes to skill in this format, his captaincy brain more than makes up for it. Today, again, it was that same thing. It was about winning the small battles, the mini battles, because the way they were going, they had also gotten to the 100 and about the 8th over. They were at about 139 if memory serves me right.
They were 7 behind at a time when SRH had in the 14th over.
Correct. So
now at that time,
No, 14, they are 182. That's what I'm saying, 182 for 3 in 14 overs. 182 for 3 in 14 overs, you require about 90 odd runs, right? 90 runs in 6 overs with 7 wickets in hand. The team that is chasing is odds on favourite from there on.
but 3 things happened simultaneously at that point, and it summed up Hardik's nightmare. Okay, already you remember what was Cummins' mode of operation during the World Cup on these kind of wickets? Fast, in your deck, off cutters. That is what he did. Unadkat followed that same template, and look at the kind of shots that David tried to attempt. One, you remember, he tried to swat it.
Yeah.
Because he was beaten by the slowness, he was beaten by the thing, and one more fielding excellence from Mayank Agarwal. He saved a 6.
Yeah.
That combined with SRH doing just enough for 3 overs. No boundaries were hit for 18 deliveries.
Yeah.
When Bhuvi missed this length, the 19th ball went for a 6.
Correct.
But at that time, you needed 25 runs plus an over. The ship had sailed. So SRH, Cummins knew it's a flat deck, and if I go attacking, I will get hit. He had already seen, see the lengths, look at what happened in the first 10, look at what happened until over number 14, when you are just about 7 runs behind the team at that point. Mumbai were only 7 behind. Unadkat, Cummins, Bhuvi. Cummins, you see that hit the deck off cutter. He didn't concede a single boundary in the World Cup final. Here, when it mattered, he delivered it. And this is the newfound belief in Cummins now. He trusts that slow bouncing off cutter even more. and he's found some new success with that. Everybody was commentating on air. How is he able to deliver it with such accuracy? Every ball was accurate. Neither was the wide, neither was the no ball. What could they do?
And also, his action doesn't really change.
Yes.
That's one thing. With a lot of bowlers, you can kind of predict their slow balls because obviously there's some movement in the hand speed, all of that changes. Like Harshal, I remember became very predictable for that because everything was this.
Yeah.
It was all this. So you knew, you just had to watch his hand, you could predict where the ball was coming by countryman. With Cummins, his action follow through stays very similar, so it's still tough to read.
Also held by a partially amputated middle finger. He had suffered an accident. Right?
Yeah.
So he's able to grip that brilliantly and no change in action. He gets balls to bounce from a length like a fast off spinner.
Correct.
That is the difference between and Bhuvi. Why did Sunrisers Hyderabad win the 2016 IPL? It was due to the brilliance of Bhuvi's death over and Mustafizur.
Exactly. They choked the flow of runs.
They choked the flow. And Unadkat, I mean, until 2017, when he was there with Sunrisers Hyderabad, I mean, with the Rising Pune Super Giants, his death bowling was also great. That same cutter, but it deserted him, unfortunately, and that's why.
Let's not forget Rising Pune Super Giant, whose tutelage he was under.
He was under MS or Steve Smith. But in the year where he had success, it was Steve Smith.
Yeah, Steve Smith's captaincy, but don't try and tell me that Dhoni wasn't telling him what to do from behind the
Of course.
Sure he was. Okay, talking about captains, being on the ball as MS Dhoni was. The elephant in the room is obviously Hardik Pandya's captaincy. I'm just trying to think, is it his worst nightmare come true this game? Like everything that could go wrong has gone wrong.
Absolutely.
Is it because, let's start with the blunders he makes while fielding. Okay, I'm just pointing out 3-4 things that have happened in this game. Forget the game last time around where also he erred while captaining. Forget that. I'm just saying concentrate on this game. If you were a film script writer and he was the anti-hero, then as a script writer you would create a story where everything, towards the end, to make the anti-hero look like anti-hero, everything will go against him. Then only the hero will shine, right? Was it like that? Did this game just play out like that, that it was his worst nightmare come true? Because I'm going to point out the various things that have happened. It starts with him getting booed. Why I'm saying that would have been very different here, because okay, fine, maybe he kind of thought, or at least expected, that he would have gotten booed in Ahmedabad because that was his ex-franchise, he left them. In back of his head may have had that thought in mind that it may not be easy this game. But Hyderabad, no such connection as such of his team, or it's not even Mumbai or whatever, right? So gets booed. That's not a great start for him to have. Then he again starts the bowling, there is a drop catch, things could have been different. You don't know, head hits that shot, that catch is dropped off Hardik Pandya's bowling. Who knows where the match goes from there? That's another thing that goes wrong for him. Then his decision again not to bowl Jasprit Bumrah, comes with a plan A, does not bowl him till the horse has bolted, everything is done and dusted, 12 overs gone, then he brings it. Major error. You give away the most by any team, 277. Then you have a chance to redeem yourself. You get the platform. Your team does give you that platform. Now you have a chance to be. Everything would have been forgotten. All would have been forgotten had he today, from there, the platform that he got, from the situation that he was, he stood there till the end, hit the winning shot today, batted at a 181, which was not impossible on this pitch, which was not impossible, did it. All things would have been forgotten. But as things turned out, his performance seems to stick out as a sore thumb in batting. So is it, again, I'm just talking about the highs and lows. There are only lows in this match. Is it his worst ever nightmare? If you were a script writer and you had to really pull down the anti-hero, would this be the script you would have written?
Look, firstly, Hardik thought that would be a romantic drama. But what happened in the script, it turned out to be a horror film. Everything, like you said, whatever could go wrong did go wrong. Catches were not taken, fielding, the bowling just crumbled. The bowling in particular, Bumrah 4 of 46 is like a 4 of 20. That on this kind of a wicket. But Umrah is just there to paper over the massive cracks that is there in the Mumbai Indians lineup. Bowling. No proper spinner. Okay. Today, because they had no plan B, plan C, what happened? They had to bowl the last over of Shams Mulani. Okay. That gave you an
Which
additional
reminded me of
15, 20 runs.
Nawaz bowling to Virat Kohli at the T20
Yep.
World Cup. It had those vibes.
Minus the drama.
Same thing.
Minus the drama of a no ball.
Oh.
Okay, minus the drama of a no ball in that sense. So, in that way, batting wise, Rohit and Tilak Verma and Ishan Kishan all gave you starts. By the fourth over, they were ahead of SRH. They were ahead of them. But after that, Hardik Pandya's 24 of 20. 10 runs in boundaries. The remaining 18 balls resulted in 14 runs. That's where you lost. A strike rate of 120 in the middle overs when the rest of your middle overs were batting easily in excess of 180 meant that this had to sink you. In both games, his tactical acumen has been missing.
Oh, I want to know about his batting. Why do you think that that's happened? Is it okay? See, he's human. He may say that outside noise doesn't bother him. I'm just trying to analyze. It's not that he's not won games in the past. He has. We know all of that. I'm just trying to think of what happened today. Is it the pressure of people booing him? Is it the pressure that he's feeling now? Everything is being scrutinized. Last game, him telling Rohit Sharma to go there. By the way, I do see some residue of that because this time around there are images, I don't know if they're 100% sure, of actually Rohit setting the field.
Yes.
Whether because no matter how much you insulate yourself by outside noise or whatever, you get to have an idea what is happening, right? And I'm trying to look for signs. You see the hug that he gave him after the last game to Rohit Sharma. You see today, as in Rohit setting certain fields. You see that when he gets booed, the pressure that he may have felt while batting. Do you think it is all of these factors which will not allow him to breathe easy, the outside pressure, which is now causing him not to perform at his optimum level?
Absolutely. The behavior of the Hyderabad crowd today towards Hardik Pandya is despicable.
No, but I'm just saying.
It is.
But no, but that should not. But Siddharth, whatever, that is another opinion. I'm saying his not being able to perform, is it because of the outside pressure? If there is, then I'm not going to blame the fans. You as a professional sports person are supposed to be dealing. You'll have good time. I'll give you an example. There are certain times, and this is not the same, but I'm giving you an extreme example. There are certain times a footballer is playing, he gets racist chants that are coming towards him, right? What does he say? That, oh, I could not perform. I'm not. Of course, you will criticize the racist chants. There is no business for racist chants to come towards that footballer. But can it be justified? Despicable behavior by the crowd by coming out with racist chants. So it's okay for the player not to perform. My point is his performance not reaching the optimum level of what is happening on the outside? Whether that's right or wrong is another thing.
See, we are building too much of this image of an alpha male sportsman, okay? People can get impacted by the outside. This all outside noise thing is a very 50-50 kind of a build-up. Even the greatest of sportsmen have had to deal with outside and they have gotten impacted by it. I can't think of any one particular sportsman, be it of any sport, who's been so ice cool that, oh, I'm not impacted by everybody, be it F1, be it sport, be it football, be it any kind of sport. Outside noises will impact you. And Hardik Pandya is no exception to the rule. I can kind of 1% understand why the GT fans in Ahmedabad are going after. Okay, great. But what right did the Hyderabad crowd have?
No,
this was a
but
third party guy. As I said, a Behti Ganga mein haath saaf karna. That is how it is.
But that may be for a few reasons you can think of. Maybe Rohit Sharma is a big player. He'll have fans everywhere he goes in the country. Maybe those are the fans. But again, my point is whether they are doing this or not is another point. Whether it's justified or not is another point. As a player, if you are letting that affect you, then that needs to be questioned, because if again, it's a big if, that's why I asked you that question. Do you feel he's getting affected by that? If he's allowing that to be affecting him, then the fingers will point to him. As a professional player, you have to find a way to do it.
If there is a clear-cut case that he's done a blatant wrong, then if he's not able to live with it and say, oh, my performance didn't affect, then yes, you can criticize him. Then yes, if he's giving that excuse of outside.
No, he is not given this excuse. I'm asking.
I don't think he will.
I'm asking.
In the foreseeable
is
future
it
also.
is it having an impact on his
2
performance?
matches, it has. Clearly, it
Well
has.
then he needs to find a way. Nobody's going to help him. See what happens in certain scenario. If you do let the crowds know that it is letting you affect you, it's not going to reduce. It's only going to increase. So he, as a player, will have to find a way. I take you back to Steve Smith. There was a time, and in his case, whatever he did with the sandpaper gate, came back. There were a lot of times he was booed, right, when he came out. Virat Kohli may have done whatever.
I remember.
But he was subjected to all that. He found a way to perform in that
He
situation.
hammered a double century at Edgbaston.
He hammered centuries in both innings.
In both innings. And
So
a double
found a
later
way.
on in the series.
He found a way.
I'm just saying, Edgbaston was far more noisy than the Uppal today.
Of course.
It was far more mean to Steve Smith. Let's not forget the World Cup also. 2019 World Cup as well. Things so much so that Virat Kohli had to then jump in and ask the crowd to be kinder to Steve Smith. And this was the Indian crowd, by the way, and some of the English fans out there as well.
If the Indian cricket crowd needs to learn a lesson from, it is from Virat Kohli. What was the need for him to go and say, oh, don't do it? You're playing sport, after all. And the Indians and the British, I'm sorry, they are no holier than thou. India and England cricketers have tampered with the ball. Let us make no bones about it. But the crowd behavior is one thing that I want to point out for simply it's impacted 2 performances of Hardik Pandya.
Look,
Clear
but
cut.
I'm not too sure, and I disagree with you over there that this is where Hardik Pandya has erred in both the games. Last game, I wouldn't say it was a huge error. Yes, it was erroneous, but not, let's say, one that really totally determined the result of the match. Today, things
No,
could have
but
been very different.
last match 2 errors put together probably affected the match. One, not giving Bumrah in the power play and batting lower down the order. I think those 2 combined could equally be responsible for him losing that first game. Captaincy decision.
Tactically, you are scrambled.
Today,
No, you could disagree with the fact, and probably I would also disagree with the fact that again I put the theory out. Siddharth thinks that the outside noise and the pressure, whether it's on social media, whether it's the crowd, whatever, is having an effect on Hardik Pandya not being able to think straight and take the right decision, whether it is as a batter, whether it is as a captain. Okay, he may think. You're free to disagree by saying that no, maybe he is got a thick skin. Maybe he is that cool cat that he says he is, and he doesn't allow all of that to affect. It's just that results haven't gone his way, and so maybe we are thinking and we are lining it to the crowd behavior or the social media noise. Maybe it is, he
I think
he
we're
has
only
that.
2 games in. Yes, maybe the body language of Hardik Pandya after conceding the world record total was something questionable. Even the most cool people out there, I wouldn't have expected, let's say even somebody like an MS to be as cool or kind towards why. That's the same MS, by the way. If there's 16 runs being lead, and I remember that happening last season, 16 runs and extras being lead, he was not happy with his bowlers and he said that they'll have to find another way, otherwise I'm out of here. He said it in not those many words, but that is what his messaging was. So for Hardik Pandya, with that extra cool, layer that he put on over there, was, I thought, a little over the top and hard to believe that coolness over there. But otherwise, I feel this is a thick-skinned guy. This is a guy who's been a little unlucky as well. Things could have been very different had that catchment taken.
So you're saying he's not getting affected by outside?
I don't think, and 2 matches for me isn't enough, let's say, for me to come to that conclusion that Hardik Pandya has been bogged down. I think there is something with the guy. I feel, he comes
What
in
is
with,
it? No, that's why I was saying, why?
See, it's the same Hardik Pandya who's won India games, the same
Exactly.
Hardik Pandya.
So what has happened in these 2 games?
And
How is
2
the
games-
Hardik Pandya?
and this
how
is-
is the
I
Hardik
will
Pandya
also-
who was spot on as captain, whether it was GT captain, whether it was Indian T20 captain, how is he blundered 2 games in a row. That's my point. That's why I floated a theory. He says yes, that's the reason that the crowd is there. You're saying no. Fair enough. What do you think? What is happening?
And the other,
Shane has a theory. Also.
the other before I pass it on to Shane, maybe he is still figuring things out at his new franchise. Remember, this is a franchise which he has inherited. GT, he was much of an assembler where everything happened. He had the resources, he had all the ingredients. You know, he was able to call his shots that ways. He had 2 seasons to shape a team, win it, be finishing the finals as well. So he was part of it, and he built that whole structure according to his liking. This he's inherited. He's still, I feel, figuring things out. 2 results haven't gone anyway. This is a franchise which is not used to having a grand start of sort of. They are more of a comeback team, and they make it big later on. So maybe, who knows, things are to change, and maybe he's still figuring things out. And remember, he didn't have a Surya today in such a big chase. You add Surya in the mix, maybe the result really could have gone somewhere else. So that's another way of looking at it.
See, that way I'm just saying, Rohit Sharma, I've said it before, because if you're talking about players missing out, I agree Surya Kumar Yadav would have made a difference, but I don't think that can be looked at. Rohit Sharma last season took a Luli Langri team to the playoffs.
With Akash Madwal being the top performer.
So, I mean, that should not be an excuse. But yeah, I take your point that maybe he's taking time to figure things out, and it's got nothing to do with outside pressure.
See, it's 2 things. I think you have to look at it differently for Hardik Pandya, the skipper, vis-a-vis Hardik Pandya, the player. Now, Hardik Pandya, the player, even when those 2 golden seasons he had at GT, I don't know, last season, I don't remember against who it was. I think it was Delhi Capitals, where he took the game too deep. Then ended up having one too many runs to make up, couldn't do it, and then afterwards, to his credit, in the post-match said that, listen, I think I took it too deep, and I need to rectify that. He seems to be falling victim to that same problem again, not getting a move on quickly enough. Not to say
today, was he trying to take it deep?
He wasn't trying to take it deep, but he wasn't able to get a move on.
He couldn't accelerate.
Yes, and
I think he was trying to take it deep. Like I tell you, like I got the Dhoni vibes. No, I got the Dhoni vibes.
That's what I'm saying.
That
He wasn't accelerating.
I'll finish it.
He wasn't
We'll
accelerating.
manage. If you look at it, maybe that was why I'm saying that taking deep, being cool, the Dhoni template. Because if you see, there were those phases where David was also missing and he got a single. You know, I could see the body language. He's telling David, no problem, no, it's okay. So to me, it said that don't worry, we'll get there. Runs will come. We'll get a 35 run over.
Which
is fair. No.
But again, 24 of 20 at the end doesn't really say a lot. And that's the thing. Last year he had this problem against DC. I hope he goes back and introspects this time around to saying, listen, this game was there for the taking. Those 3 overs where you didn't get a boundary, that's what killed it. That's one problem. As for the captaincy thing, listen, we all knew he was inheriting potentially a mess. We picked one of the things to watch out for as being MI's dressing room behavior, how it manifests. Definitely a fractured dressing room. That much is evident. I mean, even today there was those same videos doing the rounds of him sending Rohit off to the third man boundary, sending him off in the deep to try and ensure that there's not too much interference there. It's not a happy camp. And
so that's why it's not a happy camp. Do you think that's why?
I think it's not a happy camp at all. I mean, you get to know. You know,
but how about individual performances then? Bumrah was very good last game. Rohit Sharma has been good in both the innings that we've seen. So as long as people are able to get their act together, things somewhat should fit.
But
right?
that I agree. That is something that I've said earlier also. There have been lots of examples in sport, not in cricket. Of course, lots of cricketing examples, other examples where even if you're not really the best of friends within the team and you just treat each other as teammates. Dare I say, Ashwin also said very recently for the Indian team, they're colleagues, not friends. But yet he performs at his optimum at best. Anyway, that's not the thing. I have another theory as to why I think this may have been happening to Hardik Pandya, the captain, and the player. So it's not, I don't think it's a direct result of what is happening on the outside. Of course, it would be bothering him, but I don't think it's affected his performance. What I think has affected and why Hardik Pandya is not performing at the optimum is because I think he's trying to be a nice guy. Okay, he's trying to, because of all the narrative that is there, whether it's right, wrong is a different debate. I'm not getting into it. We've all expressed our opinion on that previously as well. Whatever be the thing, he somewhere realizes that he is being held guilty for that change of captaincy. He's been held guilty for a lot of things. So what happens to compensate for that? Sometimes you try to be a nicer guy. And I think, but what that does is, it stops you from being the ruthless guy that you need to be a good captain, which he has been in the past, whether it was for Gujarat, whether it is for the Indian team. I'll illustrate by the example that we had today, where, as you said, it was clear, and we discussed it, it was clear that it was okay not to bowl Bumrah at the start today because you wanted to save Bumrah for Klaasen, who's the best batter. Understood, plan A. Now we realize that, okay, fine, initially it's fine, but as soon as, I'm just trying to think as a captain, and listen, if we guys can think like that, he's played enough international cricket, he's captained the team, right, franchise, even he can think at that level, and he has in the past, he has taken those calls. As soon as you reach a stage where you're like some 70 for 1 or something in 6 overs, you know, you're flying, or 100 in 7 overs, 100 for just 1, now you know, boss, we are kind of losing this game. 7 overs, 100 is up, only 1 wicket. Now let me not wait anymore for Bumrah. I quickly changed to plan B. That's what any captain would do. You bring a Bumrah, you never know, the run is not 270, it's 230, they chase it down. But what does he do? He goes Lakir ka Fakir and waits for Klaasen to come, and then when he brings him in the 12th over, they are 173. Game is done and dusted. Though how it panned out, it didn't seem like that. But I'm saying conventionally tells you game is done and dusted. What now? Why I'm saying he's being a nice guy? Now, when this call would have been taken, this wouldn't have been a Hardik Pandya call, right? This decision of not bowling Bumrah up front. This decision would have been this would have been the coach, batting coach, seniors, everyone.
Exactly.
So there. What happens? This is, most teams do that. These calls are taken. But then eventually when you go out, and because things are fluid, things change, then that's where the captain comes in.
Yeah.
Today he did not. I think under normal circumstances he would have, asserted himself. He would have asserted himself. Change, do it. Now because of this pressure, because of guns aimed at him from every corner, he's like, no, let me not upset anybody. Let me not upset my team management, which have backed me. Boucher has come out and said very openly himself, he was part of that decision to have Rohit go. See, when you are in a situation like that, where all guns are being pointed at you, people are ready to bounce, you're trying not to ruffle any more feathers. You're saying, okay, this was decided, let me follow it to the T here. Let me not upset anybody. Because because a captain, he has to gamble. That decision could have gone wrong anyway.
But would I also not then be thinking at the back of my mind that, okay, if I don't do this just because it's going to ruffle a few feathers, what if I lose a second game on the trot? What if I end up conceding, let's say, a total like this? I need some arrangement, I need some stopgap arrangement, I need to do something to be able to stop the flow of runs.
You're not looking at the bigger picture. See, this is the view that you get in hindsight when you're sensible. See, again, all I'm trying to say, I give you an example. I give you another example. Let's say you're working in an environment, okay, and you have done something. Let's say you have gone and complained to your boss about the rest of the team. You've upset them. Okay, everyone is upset with you that you were the one who sneaked behind their back and complained, and all of them got a firing or whatever, a demotion, something like that. Now they are against you. Now you want to be one of the team member, right? You want to slowly and steadily integrate yourself back. You want to make up with them. What is it going to do? Then you will do certain things. Let's say as a worker, you're a good worker, but you're a worker who's good because you're aggressive, you're proactive, you will go and do work. Now you're thinking to yourself that, listen, I messed it up with my friends. Now let me not, which you were earlier, which you would claim everything that I will do this, I will do that. You are a go-getter. That's why you're good. Now you're saying, let me sit back. Let me not be the go-getter. Let me not upset them more. So now if something is coming, you're saying, yeah, listen, I had to do it. Why don't you do it? So you're making up with that guy. I'm saying, I have to do it. Let me do it. You're making up with this guy. I'm making up with you. So in all of this, while now my instincts are telling me more to make up with you guys rather than my professional instincts, which are earlier telling me come what may, I'm going and doing that for my own growth. Now my instincts have changed. It may be a temporary phase. Maybe you do it for a month, they're happy with you, you're back on the same page. Again, your instincts come back and you go, I'm going to be that go-getter, by which time everything is fine. But that's what I'm saying. This also may be temporary. Maybe after a few games of this, he realizes, he looks at the bigger picture, he said, listen, I'm not taking this anymore. Boss, eventually I will be judged by how I perform. This is a dog world. I have to be performing. If I keep performing, I can be the most hated person. I couldn't care less. I can be the most unpopular person. I couldn't care less. That will come. But I think that's the next phase. I feel now he is being the guy who's burnt enough bridges, and it's not just with one player, 2, 3, multiple of them put it out. The management, everyone. He's like, let me be the nice guy, let me do the right things which please everyone. But if this continues, he may go on to become that ruthless, which didn't happen in Gujarat because he didn't have to bother about this. So he could be the captain that he wants. He could be the batter. I feel this could be the reason why this has
And even
happened.
there, I remember in Gujarat, there were times when he would give some of his players verbal lashings that were caught on stump mics, which weren't
David
exactly
Miller, for example.
Miller. He would give it to some of the Indian players also,
Shami.
and in Hindi.
Shami.
In Hindi. And it was caught, and I think that's also part of the reasons why a lot of people didn't take turn, because it's not like, say, with Rohit, certain things went viral, the garden stuff and all. But that was clearly good natured. With Hardik, it came across like a lashing because it was a lashing. So he's not someone who puts too much stock in other people's opinions. Results matter. He did not become an IPL winning, an IPL runner-up captain because he cared too much about people's opinions. That being said, in MI, maybe you're right, he's too afraid to upset the apple cart anymore than he has already. For the moment.
I think once the booing stops, everyone is fine, the team gets together, eventually he goes back.
Or maybe things get worse before they get better.
Yeah,
He could lose another 2 games. The boos intensify, and he says, "You know what? I don't need to listen to this."
Then it reaches that stage. Yeah, you're like
Now you see the timeline of what has happened. Why he's had to have this forced nice guy image. The poison was already spread much before Hardik even donned the Mumbai Indians jersey in 2024. Some of the stories that were given out by some of the by the MI players, some of the players who dished out stories taking a big dig at him, isn't it?
The Instagram story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, what has the Mumbai Indians management done to lend their support to Hardik Pandya so far in the 2 games? What have they done? Have they done anything?
What could they have done?
Appealed to the fans, like, stop
When does that
doing
happen?
something like this.
But when does that happen?
But can I tell you one thing? I'll give it can never see. By the way, the management is doing whatever they can. If you remember, they did the press conference, tried to avoid taking any controversial decision. That's best they can do. They now keep putting out social media posts for Hardik, for Rohit, celebrating like today jersey given. That's the best that they can do. See, it actually will go down gradually. I'll give an example because I remember it from, I was just thinking where another instance that may have happened. It happened in West Indies cricket. It was after Richie Richardson went, then you had Courtney Walsh captain. And then there was a transition from Courtney Walsh to Lara. Lara was also a, superstar. And I remember in those days, reading articles where Lara was very vocal about taking the captaincy. He wanted the captaincy. Walsh was senior, he was there. And okay, in their area, because now you have IPL franchise there, anyway that rivalry was there. Jamaica, Trinidad, this, that, everything.
Country-wise rather than
Correct.
club-wise,
So
which
there
makes
were,
it more intense.
Yeah, so there were domestic games that happened where Lara would get booed when he was playing in Jamaica, so on and so forth. But when Lara did become captain, and where did it all come down? That's what I'm saying. It does not help with what the team says, because at that time I remember West Indies Cricket Board had put out statements. They said everything. Fans don't take to that. It really worked out is because, at the toss, that first test match that he captained in Jamaica, Courtney Walsh walks out with, arm around Lara's shoulder, and they're joking and walking out. See, when the crowd sees that, they say, hello, there's no issue with these two. Why should we? And there I said, that takes me now to that moment, last match, they lost.
Exactly.
GT, yeah.
And Hardik
Goes from behind and hugs him.
Yeah.
So when you see that body language, when you see all of those, that can only, and it will go down gradually. That's what I'm saying. If you're Hardik, you're saying forget all this,
I'm
let
just
it continue.
thinking aloud right now. It reminds me, and TNs are divided as we know. There have been umpteen visuals of, the bonhomie between Virat and Rohit, but those theories continue to do the rounds. There's been plenty of evidence out there.
What that is, the basis of that is because they are competing for that spot of the best batter. So the fight there, let's say they could be, I'll give another example for that. It is much like Nadal and Federer. Now Nadal and Federer are the best friends, but their fans were never, they would have a go at each other saying, no, this one is better. Somebody will say that, Nadal only wins in French, Federer fans will say, but then the Nadal fans will say, but head to head, so he's better than you. He's won more slams. So if you look at the two players, best friends, though I'm not saying Virat and Rohit are that level friendship that Nadal and Federer, because that's just next level.
Yeah.
You know, but they're friends nonetheless, and you know that they have
There's
mutual
mutual
respect.
respect,
Yeah. But the fans fight on superiority of the player. So that's a separate fight. That is why it happens.
You know, you cited the West Indies example, but then the West Indies example also, if you look at it, they had to be united on one thing because it came at a time when West Indies cricket was in decline.
Or rather starting to decline.
Starting to decline, okay? The Indian cricket fan has given you obscene examples of the lack of immaturity.
Lack of maturity, you mean?
There is no maturity.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's what.
Correct.
You're right. Yeah, there is no maturity. Today, look at when Rohit was batting, the cheers, and look at the reaction to Hardik Pandya. You are bound by the cult of personality, and it is reflecting in every single Indian stadium that you go into. And this is the right situation to have this kind of, you may say, there is a proper saying. The Indian cricket fan is like this entity. If you are trying to sell mirrors, you are trying to sell it to blind men. That is how the Indian cricket team fan is. Bound by the cult of personality, irrational to a person who has done no wrong. May I add it again? What wrong did Hardik Pandya do even in the Indian cricket?
No, okay, I agree with you, but I'm saying a fan might be looking at it that listen, he wanted captaincy, he desired captaincy, he let the franchise know. For a lot of people, it may have been, see again, in our Indian culture, it's always not senior, they would have been like, he could have been nice enough to allow Rohit to captain, that's one. Then you see images of all things that are happening, go to third man, this and that. Those things have...
The Rohit Hardik instance that happened in Ahmedabad was the height.
No, at least Ahmedabad I understood.
Yeah.
Because that was like, he deserted that team and now they're giving it to him.
Apart
Fair.
from the reactions, the Rohit Hardik situation that happened at the Narendra Modi Stadium, beyond that, forget what happened with the fans there. Fans are different, okay, because it's GT, there's a shred of legitimacy that yes, it had to happen. But look at the reactions that happened. Why are we making it such a big issue that Hardik told Rohit to go there? Is Rohit God?
No, he's not. I don't
is
think
the
you're
thing.
getting. But you can't, Siddharth, you can't expect fans to always look at things very objectively and rationally. There are fans,
That is
they
why
are
they
emotional.
can't be legitimized.
They are emotional. No, I'll just tell you, if I'm a fan of, let's say, a footballer and he gets fouled, foul is a normal thing. I get agitated, yeah. I can't expect that no other person be fouled. Don't you? Right? It's that's what fan is. Fans connect. You can't expect them to be, as objective and rational as you are.
One thing
Problem
I
is,
want to take off.
What has happened is, because we are giving this kind of a leeway. To
I
the
say
Indian
there is
fan,
no space for abuse and that one particular word that they're using on social media, and that's a racist term. That should not. There is no space for that. But there is 100% space for emotion. There is, if fans are booing or fans are happy, sad, angry, that's sport.
It is all great in a very idealistic world. But in the Indian context, it's gotten warped to such a poor extent that I am sorry.
See, nice producer. Shivam is so nice.
His second throw could have been better than his first.
He went, he said, they've been talking for so long.
In
And
the Indian
he's turned off the AC
context,
also today for us. So we like, chalo, pani to leke aaye. Thank you, Shivam.
For fans, okay.
Thank Shivam first.
And Shivam, thank you, Shivam, thank you so much. But I'm not thanking you for switching off the AC though. That's another debate altogether. But
There's no debate in that.
yeah,
You're right if you're not going to thank him for that.
finally for something we agree on. Harshit always wants AC off. You always want AC off.
I messaged him already.
I want him.
I messaged him already.
I want it off when it is
Ultra
freezing
cool.
cold. Because then my throat goes. And I don't want to be in that situation. But I also don't want it to be Sahara Desert.
I know.
The
But
only
here
time we
there is
don't
no
want-
balance.
The only time we don't want the AC on is when a certain body part is not freezing.
You see, There is no balance with this AC, just like the Indian cricket fan. There is no balance.
Okay. Let's get, but before I get down
but
to
one question
Yeah.
though, one question. Because Siddharth said so much about the crowd in Hyderabad. Just want to understand, do crowds, let's say elsewhere, the resentment that Gujarat fans had with Hardik justified, rational, everything. But everywhere does that he travels, do all supporters, let's say,
Yes.
do they have the right to have that grouse against Hardik Pandya?
It will, no.
I understand with the...
Arey, because at the end of the day, this is a franchise-based cricket, but what is the number one cash cow?
But it has no bearing.
No.
एक ही आवाज.
Broadcast money it is.
But
As I
overall,
No, but
the golden goose is Indian cricket.
But
by Indian
does
cricket,
it have a bearing over there?
yes, it does. There are Indian fans sitting there.
That's fine. No,
So there
I'm
would
saying,
be so
but
many-
it's not like Rohit's been ousted from Indian
But
captaincy.
people,
na?
yeah, you are looking at it, but people look at it. Everything is
So-
personally. It's like that. That's
The-
what fans
while
are.
I am
And see,
fine with
and can I tell
hostility,
you-
I'm
can
fine
I-
with hostility
can I
in
tell
sport,
you,
but this way-
sometime do not look for logic for why a player is. Novak Djokovic, I think, again, tennis example, fantastic player. I think GOAT. You can debate.
But
I
also-
can't understand the hate that he gets.
Yeah.
I can.
But he can. But he does, right? So fine. So I cannot understand. So there will be people that will not like him. There will be people who dislike it. Don't go looking for logic. Some personalities are just love per se. Some personalities people like to have a go at. Maybe that's the case. And they wait for a minor opportunity for having a go at that person. It's as simple.
As I said, I'll wait for each and every match where Mumbai play in at the venues. It will only sum up my theory, and yet I might be proven right in this case. अंधों के शहर में मैं आईना बेच रहा हूँ. That is how the fan, the Indian, so-called Indian cricket fan will be. Because, sorry, you are setting a very dangerous precedent which will bite you back.
Why does it bad? Fans booing is not a dangerous precedent, yaar.
If-
Don't make sport robotic.
This is
Don't
the,
expect fans just to sit, clap and sit.
This is the same
Clap and sit. No,
Indian
no.
cricket fan and the same entity. If they are on
No.
the receiving end, for no fault of theirs, they will be saying, "Oh, this is so." You may say, if suppose the Australian fans just boo them for no fault, for they haven't done any racist thing or any of that kind of thing. The Indian fans, the Indian public will then say, "Oh, these Australians just don't know how to appreciate the game of cricket." That is how the Indian mentality is. That's how the Indian cricket fan is. Fickle, convenient, and just not looking at the bigger picture. And it's highlighted in
What
Hardik
is the
Pandya's
bigger
game.
picture?
The bigger picture
What
is
should he
Hardik.
look at? If there is a fan who's not like Rohit Sharma being removed for captain, what is the bigger picture? That's the bigger picture for him. He doesn't not happy. Why are you forcing him? Why are you? Why are you?
We've had this exact same.
Why are you
argument
forcing him to be
Yeah.
okay with it? You may be okay with it, but if there is somebody who's not okay with it, he has the right to move.
There
It's
are
exactly the
practical
same
reasons.
argument Shane and I had with somebody upstairs. Just
I
about
don't
half an hour
understand.
back.
You are hell bent on telling every fan, don't be upset if it is removed. It's a cricketing decision, you live by it. Arey, he's a fan. He's okay. He has the right to be upset if he wants to be upset.
The
He
fan-
likes somebody, he will be upset. You may be okay to drop Virat Kohli from the T20 World Cup. You will have your reasons. I agree with it. But if there is a fan who likes Virat Kohli and does not like it being dropped, and if he is dropped tomorrow when he goes and says, okay, I will, when I go to Indian match, I am going to see Ajit Agarkar or Rahul Dravid and I'll boo them. He's right. If he's hurt because of the captain Rohit Sharma or whoever who he thinks is responsible,
I'm saying, but
he's fine.
as
You can't
fans-
force everyone
see,
everything to be.
This is all happening in the IPL, and it only has IPL bearings. It doesn't have at the moment any bearing on Indian cricket per se right now. So that's why, and this is if this is coming from fans that have already pledged their allegiance to a certain franchise, then how does it make sense what's happening in the other franchise? If this is in fact helping me do better and outdo a team which is 5-time winners, I will be like, oh, whoa, what a move. Why am I then hurling abuse?
You
at
want
that?
all fans to be the same.
As I said, it represents the typical idiocracy that is there in the Indian cricket fan system at this point in time. Only one or two personalities, rest of franchisees, rest of cricket can just
That's
take a
not
back
that.
burner.
No, that's not just Indian cricket. Everywhere, all example. Tennis, people only go to watch a Federer, Nadal, Djokovic when they were playing, right? Personality. Yeah, football.
Tennis is a personality-oriented
Half the world bloody supports Argentina when Messi is playing. I mean, for the FIFA World Cup, half of them won't even be able to name the 10 other players that play.
Correct.
But they are wearing Argentina jersey, colored thing, going for Messi. That's a global thing. That's a global thing. Very few will be hardcore fans who know everything, and it's fine. There will be all sorts of fans. You can't expect everyone to follow a school curriculum that when the teacher comes, you have to all sit quietly, then you have to sit
I
quietly.
am not asking fans to follow school curriculum. I am asking for one thing that the fan will find very difficult to. Common sense.
Or stand by the editor.
No, that has no relevance here.
Common sense.
That example does
That's
not
a stray bullet.
Yeah, stable. It does not have any say. Okay, I had a question before I go to the question I asked you. In all of this, again, I was looking for reasons why Hardik Pandya, the captain, is not firing. Has it anything to do with no Ashish Nehra on the sideline?
Oh yes, 110%. Suddenly now we realize just how much of a holistic overall system he had at Gujarat. Boucher doesn't strike me as the same kind of coach. That's not me saying that Boucher is a bad coach or anything. He just seems a little more hands-off. Nehra ji, on the other hand, is anything but hands-off. That man is having heart palpitations by the second.
If that decision, as I said, okay, you maybe with Nehra also you made a plan that don't bowl Bumrah first up, keep him for Klassen. But as soon as you see that they reach 107 over, Nehra would have sent first the water boy with a message. If that didn't happen, he would have come at the boundary line. If not, he would have come with the water next time after the over.
No, I will just see how Ashish Nehra's influences in GT this time around. If they don't make it to the knockouts, supposing, I think they might struggle to. Then I think you needed the combination of Hardik and Nehra. It wasn't just Hardik.
Yeah.
Listen,
It wasn't Nehra.
It's always been the case that even the best of coaches, whether across sport, have always needed a combination with certain players. Pep Guardiola wouldn't be Pep Guardiola if he didn't have Lionel Messi. Let's be very frank. Zinedine Zidane wouldn't, the manager that is, wouldn't be Zinedine Zidane if he didn't have Cristiano Ronaldo.
But MS Dhoni is MS Dhoni. He doesn't need a Stephen Fleming.
Maybe he
In
does.
CSK. I don't
Maybe
think so.
he does.
See, no, but there's a big difference.
Maybe he does.
There's one thing. MSD worked best with coaches who were very hands-off. Who was the coach of the Indian team during that point in time? Two coaches who had a lot of success with in white ball. Kirsten was there, and you had Duncan Fletcher, who was the most hands-off person ever. To the point that he was least affected when India got spanked 4-0 twice. He was that hands-off. Dhoni works well with those kind of coaches. Look at Stephen Fleming. I firmly believe the only reason CSK employ him is because he goes to press conferences and says nothing.
Although a miracles happened in both
That's
the press
very
conferences.
uncharitable.
I'm being sarcastic, obviously.
In both the press conferences, not with Stephen Fleming who's come.
That's very
Last
good.
time it was Michael Hussey who came.
Okay, too many questions. Now we're going to get down to answering them. How long have we gone already, Shivam?
More than an hour, I think.
An hour.
Just about an hour, I feel.
Yeah.
Oh God, okay. And we still haven't gone on the questions.
Ooh.
Okay. Let's start. Hari, we'll try and answer them quickly. Hari from the US says, Siddharth,
As per me, Pandya, the captain with Midas touch. Well,
ha ha ha. Read the full thing.
Colon P.
Scoring 24 or 20 and required rate was 15 plus. Giving instructions to the next batsman to hit hard would be hypocritical for Hardik.
We're being very unfair. People tend to forget 2022 and 2023.
See, Hari, today everything that could go wrong went wrong.
Today was Murphy's Law.
What's wrong with that? If let's say you made a mistake as a batter, if there's something that you've assessed with the pitch, don't you tell that to the batter incoming ki boss, did Sachin not tell Virat ki ball abhi bhi hil raha hai?
So, Hari, according to you,
It's not like Sachin scored bucket loads of runs that day. So what?
according to Hari, Hardik Pandya should have, no, play tuk-tuk. That's the thing. Then Hardik Pandya would be sandwiched.
Enroll in the Tuk-Tuk Academy.
Exactly. So, Hari, I agree. He should not told him. He should have played tuk-tuk. You're right.
Okay, Vishal Panchal from the US. He says, is Hardik trying too much? Secondly, why Hardik didn't bowl Bumrah when Travis was going full gear? Bowl your best bowler in power play. Flabbergasted. Vishal, thank you for that comment. We already addressed that earlier in the... Yeah, he did. But then you needed to continue after that. But what they did was he bowled one over, they only took 5 runs.
5 runs.
So they were clever, no? Yeah. If you got him for another one, they wouldn't want to now afford another over with just 5 runs. So anyway, Mehraj Rules from Canada says, man, I just felt short on my prediction, but this SRH team checks all the boxes for a champion team, be it pace, slogging, fielding and captaincy. That is, once Shivam is done with the thumb that he's already working on, he can go down. Slogging, fielding and captaincy. I would be disappointed if they don't play finals this year. I think now you're pushing it.
No, give me. Miraj, be prepared to be disappointed.
I mean, their bowling doesn't inspire me confidence.
I didn't pick them in top
same.
4.
You were very charitable last year. This
That's
year,
why, no.
yeah.
Once big and twice shy.
Yeah. He picked, but they finished bottom.
Wooden spooners.
I learnt my lesson.
Shaurya Nanda says Hardik's antics baffle me. His demeanor is all a facade as he behaves if everything is hunky-dory despite such a carnage. Looks way out of sorts.
I think Harshit pointed that out. That seemed a bit awkward, but maybe again, as I said, there is that, mending the relationship.
Mending act.
Yeah, maybe it's all of that. Yep.
Praneeth Datta is saying, MI are getting their 11 wrong. Where is Akash Madwal, Nehal Vadera, Nabi? If I may add, where is a Kumar Kartikeya?
I am saying exactly what I said. Today, if I was Akash Madwal, okay, I can agree when you're playing more experienced bowler. Today you got a youngster,
Mafaka.
a debut, Mafaka, that debutant, under 19 kid. Okay, I liked him in the under 19 World Cup. I put a tweet out saying, one to watch out for the future. All of that is fine. But Akash Madwal is like, performed really well for you last time.
In a playoff.
Playoff match that you played took a 5-for, right? And you don't play him. You don't play him. I'm sorry, but it's the same thing you were doing with Dishan Kishan. Senior nahi hai to junior hai, junior nahi hai to senior hai.
And also,
you're doing.
What actually will happen is if you actually have somebody like a Madwal in the 11, that gives you the option of having another overseas player then.
You've got, okay, suppose you just play with 3. Instead of Brevis, why don't you get in the Nabi? Competent spinner, competent batter.
No, that's fine if you want batting up there. That's why you take out
You can
somebody
get a
like
Nabi also.
you take out
If you
somebody
get
like
a Madwal.
Kurzi,
And
you
you
take
can
out
have
Kurzi,
Kumar
have
Kartikeya.
Madwal, and
I would say your spin bowling is the major Achilles heel. Get Nabi and Kumar Kartikeya.
yeah, at least Nabi will give you at least a canny operator, someone who does operate
Yeah.
well in power plays, middle overs for Afghanistan, who by the way are a team full of spinners. So you don't have him, yet you have enough space for a devolved Brevis. So he's put a Rumal on one seat because I'm sorry he's done nothing to justify this much hype also.
And also,
I agree.
Nabi,
I agree.
Nabi is also a decent bat. Lower down the order.
Hey, you're
He's a
underselling
more
him.
than decent
You're underselling.
bat.
You're underselling
Yes,
him.
more than a decent
The
bat.
professor, you're really underselling.
More than a decent bat. Okay, Satish B is saying thanks to Travis Head, he set the stage on fire.
Yeah, I mean he saw Mumbai Indians, probably thought Indians. He's like, chalo.
Man, what hitting yet again.
It's typical.
Dropped.
He's been out
Dropped.
of. He's
Dropped.
I mean, he's been out of form for
By
months.
the way, I want to ask him. I have a grouse. That day Virat Kohli got runs and you said lucky runs. Today for Head, no, you said what a knock, what
After
hitting.
he got-
Not once did he mention lucky for Head, did he?
No. This
Did
was
he?
luck. This was luck.
Now finally you're saying it.
No, but then it was.
Now you're saying
But
no.
is it negative?
No.
Is it
No.
negative?
Hey, one
No,
second.
it's not negative.
Siddharth, you never mentioned lucky even once. After I reminded you,
I
then you
thought
said.
hadn't we highlighted that in the mid innings?
No, we didn't.
Already?
No, we
did.
didn't.
We did highlight it in the mid innings that he was dropped off Hardik Pandya. We did it. Now, I have always maintained luck is not a negative connotation.
Of course it is.
No.
What is it?
I'm-
If I say you're lucky, that means you're not capable enough. You just got luck.
It is 90% skill, 10% luck. That's how cricket is.
To quote one of our family members, I will prove you're a hater.
As I said, this quote I need to cite. Some of the Indian cricket fan even better.
Okay. Shubham Garg says, Nikhil sir, please invite Akshita to sports today for a CSK game. She's a Dhoni fan. She mentioned that. Okay, sure. In her Arvam.
I mean, is there any particular show in India today? South focus?
Maybe. But anyway, we'll try. I didn't know that she is. Is she a Dhoni fan, CSK fan? We'll get.
I'm not. I don't know. Okay. Akshita Nangopal, yes.
Yeah. We'll get her. No problem.
Sure.
As a barter for us doing the segment.
yeah, every day now.
Okay. Sarthak Arya.
I don't think we are winning this World Cup. Looking at some big hitters other teams have, we need to make some out of the box picks. God knows what will Sky's form be. Kuldeep, Bumrah and Rinku are the only standout players in my opinion.
I will add Yashasvi Jaiswal, but you can't fit the guy into your 11.
I will also, I mentioned yesterday, we'll take Dubey for the World Cup.
Yes.
May not play,
Dube.
but I'm going to take him.
I mean, look
I'm
at
gonna
his
take him.
stats ever since 2022. 162 strike rate against spin. Has hit the second most sixes only Josh Butler is ahead of him. He's level with Andre Russell and Liam Livingston.
You know who that other batter was? I just remembered who may be fighting for him with that backup slot was a Tilak Verma.
Tilak Verma.
He was being selected. So, but you'll have to see. I would still say Tilak played a very good knock today, but he is still in the conventional mode, as in takes time to get going. If you really want an X factor hitter, you have to go to Dubey, I guess.
yeah.
So.
Yeah. Manchester Rising from the US is saying Hardik has gone missing for Indian ICC events. He failed more than succeeded bar IPL. No wonder he's booed. It's a misfortune we don't have.
No. Listen. Rohit has also failed as much as he's succeeded, or more than he's succeeded in ICC. So has a Jasprit Bumrah.
So has a Virat Kohli.
Exactly. So if you're going by that logic, no.
Minus this year.
Virat Kohli, the batter, you are saying?
Captaincy.
Virat
Kohli, the batter, was a disaster only in 2021 by his high standards. Only by his high standards. But apart from 22, he was good. 23, 765 runs, yet ended up on the losing side.
Okay. Zess says SRH won the match. You guys are speaking about Mumbai. We spoke so much about SRH, the three bowlers, the hitting, the
Joined
head.
us late.
You may have joined us late. Head, Bhuvaneshwar, Cummins and Unadkut's fine bowling.
So much.
Abhishek Sharma.
Yeah. Even Travis Head had the record for the fastest 50. It lasted only 20-25 minutes.
Till Abhishek Sharma came along.
He broke it. I mean,
Yeah. But less said the better about Klaasen. Yeah, he's been so good.
I mean,
He's been so good.
Orange cap?
he has
Now,
hit, yes. He's hit 15 sixes and 4 fours in his 2 knocks.
And that's why many people are pointing out to that when you look at those teams that you would be playing, Australia, look at the players that there will
South
be.
Africa.
Look at South Africa.
Look at the West Indies.
Yeah, with Andre Russell.
Finally learning how to play spin.
And Nicholas Puran also. I'm telling you, the West Indies are the...
Please don't say dark horses.
No, not dark horses. They are one of the teams in contention. They might end the jinx of a home nation not having won the T20 World Cup, host nation. They could end that.
Maybe the USA do it. Unmukh Chand.
I mean, India and US are going to face each other.
Yeah. Not happening though.
Yeah.
West Indies, I could agree.
Yeah.
Okay. I love cornflakes. Tomorrow I'll have for breakfast.
Yeah. By sense logic, just have match without spectators.
Yes, I agree. I love.
If you have toxic spectators,
No.
please.
You can have spectators, but you have to tutor them. They need to go for classes. You'll have a certificate. You attend the course, get your diploma in being a fan for the Indian cricket team. Once you pass all the questions and answers and your P's and Q's and all the things that you are supposed to do, then you can go
In
and watch
COVID
them.
time, the best thing was no fans. I'm telling you, honestly, if this level of toxicity is there, I'm sorry, we don't need fans.
No, I hated COVID times. So one thing was the fact that you'd be watching sport, but it felt like it wasn't real.
Correct. I'm with you.
The only thing I liked about
He's
that
come
time
from
was-
Mars.
The only time I liked it was, and that's when the only time that I'm with Siddharth on that is when Liverpool won the league that year and there were no fans inside the Anfield.
2020.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
2019-20 was when they won the league.
And the champions.
That was 2018-19.
That time they had fans.
Okay, Manchester Rising again from the US says Hardik is arrogant but fails to get injured at every ICC or gets injured at every ICC event. When was the last time Hardik Pandya won us anything? Sid, stop being the spokesperson of Indian cricket fans.
Please, I don't even want to be the spokesperson of the Indian cricket team fan. I can't deal with irrationality.
Okay, Akash Bhardwaj says fans don't run cricket. Pat Cummins show in World Cup final.
Of course.
Good point.
Good point. He silenced the crowd.
No, but
Made Ahmedabad seem
fans,
like a library.
no, but that's okay. But fans run cricket.
No, but
Without
fans run
there's
any
no
sport.
cricket.
Without fans, there's no sport.
He made them go quiet,
Yeah.
but then that's what the element was. If there were no fans, then he would have made nobody quiet, and then there would have been nothing to
And
talk about.
incidentally,
Fans
see,
run
in
sport.
2023, November 19 was a good throwback to the 90s, where every boundary, every six by the opposition would result in pin drop silence.
Okay, that's what happens in a lot of sport. It happens. Not everywhere will you get the Chennai crowd clapping the opposition. A lot of them crowds don't do it. I say as long as you're not being mean, nasty, abusive, racist, that's fine. You are allowed to express your displeasure. That's what is emotions. That's what makes the sport that it is. Mr. Shekhar says, Nikhil sir, how can you be naive to believe that everything is rosy in the Mumbai Indian setup?
Who said
I
this?
never said that.
No one said that it's rosy in the Mumbai Indian setup.
We said quite the contrary.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says, with your experience, you must know that Hardik Pandya's joyous gestures post-match are pretentious. Very well.
I mean, that cool nature might crack. If we Mumbai Indians say have a repeat of 2014 or 2022, where you lost 5 games on the trot, you lost 7 games on the trot.
Pronit is saying you did not take my entire question. What is it that we did not take?
I mean, we did take it.
Pronit send it, but I
I think he sent it down. So
Okay, we'll go down.
Yeah.
Karthik K says that you cannot decide how a fan should feel or react about a player as long as it's not personal. Nobody sells jerseys without names, no heroes, no game. NFL, MLB, NBA fans are worse.
Absolutely. No one's saying that this.
But you have been going on about Indian cricket fan.
Which?
Indian cricket
There
fan.
are lots
Indian
and lots and lots. It will take one whole month to highlight how bad and how irrational the Indian cricket team fan is. And in the Indian
Okay,
context, it's not.
Siddharth, we will now give you tomorrow, Shivam, create a 40-minute slot. Siddharth will sit alone and he can go on about the Indian fan.
You've given me
No, we should live stream it on private because then no one will be watching it. No fans.
Yeah, that's also fine. That's also fine.
Okay, Pranit Datta.
The teacher for spectator classes will be Siddharth. Look, I can teach people who are sane. I can't teach the Indian cricket fan. I'm sorry. I can't teach.
Not all ICT fans are insane, na? But what you
I
just
can't
Hashtag
teach-
not all fans.
I can't teach the TNs. I can't teach people who are toxic. In the case of Hardik Pandya, as long as it's not personal, Karthik K. In the case of Hardik Pandya, it is becoming personal.
It's already become personal.
It is. That is why I have a big grudge against them, and this grudge will stay until they don't have an improvement in their behavior. Some is despicable. The abuse that is directed. The language is despicable.
The hashtags.
And it's about time that you call those out. Rather than just say, oh, this happens in sport, you have to deal with it. I'm sorry. There is a period.
No, but you're painting everyone with the same brush. I've said it here myself that people who are using that racist term for him on social media, shame on them, all of them. But the ones that came to boo because they're emotional about a team or a player, they're fine, absolutely fine.
बहती गंगा में हाथ साफ कर दिया.
That's okay. They're fine. I do not want emotionless fans. That the day that happens, the sport will die.
All sport will die.
Yes. No, if it happens in a sport, that sport will die. That's it. It's as simple as that. Okay, I can't listen to fans anymore.
Shivam,
Tired
you'll
of
have to
fans.
listen to.
Shivam, you want to
Shivam
say
wants
something?
Yes.
We discussed that already. Yes, they miss Surya Kumar Yadav, but that can't be. Lots of teams are missing a lot of players. They are missing Hasaranga. Right? He is injured. So I'm saying Rohit Sharma took a no-hopper team, Mumbai Indians, to playoffs. Yes. We can't look at 1, 2, 3. Of course they are like that. A lot of teams are missing a lot of players.
Somehow, some way he took it. Remember, they had to
He did.
win.
He did.
Yeah, he had to win against SRH and he had to hope GT beat RCB. That's how. 2014 also. 6 of by Aditya Tare. What a team that was.
Luck was there.
So, luckily, they made it to the playoffs and ensured they didn't have any kind of problems. Otherwise, the captaincy scrutiny would have been a lot more. That was a horror season for them. 5 straight losses. Yet they made it. So, luck, not in a negative way, played a big role. Any other further questions?
Bas, no, I'm not taking any questions.
Okay.
Siddharth, tomorrow give him 40 minutes.
That's too low.
Just, 1 hour. Non-stop stream till the
He
system
said
gets
1 month.
till the system gets hot and breaks down. Just put him and he can go. About fan, title it about fans. He will go for 1 hour.
Of course.
Okay, bye. It's been a long night. Thank you for your company. What a game we had. Imagine it would have been a blockbuster had we had a situation where they chased it down and till about 34 overs of the game. It was even Steven. Actually, to be fair, even till the 18th over, there was an outside chance. 25 runs in 2 overs, who knows? On another day, could have been done. But it came very close.
SRH needed Virat Kohli to come and bowl.
Yeah, could have happened.
28 runs in over.
Yash Dayal also.
Yash Dayal also.
Why only
yes.
going after Virat?
31 runs.
Okay, bye bye, take care, good night, Nandri, Vanakkam, Shabba Khair, Shubhratri, each of
And don't trouble your mother.